Okay, guys, welcome back to the show. This is basically day two of discussing certain topics within K-pop, and today we'll be speaking on another well-popular topic within, I think, music industries in general, and that is cultural appropriation. And today we are still joined by Brittany. I'll hand it over to her so that she can basically just give a brief introduction as to who she is. For those of you who might have not catched our, podcast yesterday, or you just randomly stumbled upon this podcast and perhaps you'll go and listen to the first podcast of the week um, at a later stage. So yeah, over to you, Brittany.
Hi guys, I'm Brittany and I was here yesterday and we basically did a topic on K-pop. So I'm a K-pop fan. I've been into K-pop since 2016, and my dream is definitely to go to Korea one day, and because there's such a huge disadvantage for K-pop fans that are living in different countries, to not have that full sensation of experiencing K-pop, and I just wanted to show people, like, do like go to music shows and like have an Instagram page dedicated to K-pop, and like showing people like me, for example, um, are not able to go abroad to Seoul, and just show them like the more deeper things of K-pop. So that's like one of my passions, and I'm so excited to be here. Definitely, please, like, if you just like check the first podcast out. It was really interesting, and it was so I feel like it would be informative if you
Yeah.
don't know K-pop at
Yeah.
all.
And basically, what makes us different from other platforms or rather other shows that do speak about K pop is that we are speaking from a perspective from a third world, basically. We come from South Africa and we're giving our own opinions on issues of race. So we have to understand that when it comes to American fans, they have their own opinions. However, they don't represent all Western fans in general. They specifically represent American fandoms of K pop. We are representing South Africa and perhaps maybe other African countries and their views and perceptions on issues within K pop, such as racism, cultural appropriation, body shaming, etc. So today's podcast is basically on cultural appropriation. So, first of all, let's just define cultural appropriation for people who might not know what cultural appropriation is. So, cultural appropriation, just to put it in very simple terms, is when someone takes a certain aspect of a culture or that culture as a whole and uses it for their advantage. So they exploit it for financial gain or for fame or for clout or whatever the case may be. For example, let's say I go to to some Asian country and I learn about the geisha culture. And then one day I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to a Halloween party. So now I'm gonna dress up like a geisha because now I wanna look good, I wanna look popping for the party. Now basically I have no understanding of what geisha culture is. I'm using the costume. I'm using rather the culture, the outfit as a costume basically. I'm basically degrading it. I'm basically taking out the value that the culture has and I'm exploiting it for my own benefit, basically. However, when it comes to K-pop, it's on a larger scale and K-pop is a money-making business. So whatever cultural appropriation that does take place, it's for the benefit of the company and the company getting money. So it's in no way are they trying to basically be more inclusive of different cultures within K-pop. Because remember in our first podcast, as like Brittany and I were talking about, is that basically K-pop is a music industry that wants to boost Korea's economy,
Yeah.
but also at the same time, it wants to represent a alternative Asian culture. So anything that isn't within that is basically not welcomed. Basically. Okay, so Brittany, starting off, in news recently, Blackpink released a song called "Kill This Love." And obviously, the group members consist of Jennie, Lisa, Jisoo, and Rose. And what a lot of going back to what I said earlier, we represent an alternative view on K-pop, on
Yeah.
issues within K-pop. Not,
Mm.
we don't represent fandoms from America, but the American fandoms were the one that brought this issue up. They said that Lisa, in the music video of "Kill This Love," was wearing braids, and she was basically culturally appropriating braids.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen how she looked. She had braids on, it was blue, and she had a fringe at the front. And even her whole attire was very Americanized and very hip hop type of
Yeah.
feel. What is your take on that? Do you think that she was culturally appropriating? And do you think that we should blame Lisa for that situation? Because what we said in the podcast yesterday was that K-pop is highly controlled. It controls
Yes.
idols. Its idols aren't human beings, but they are objects of selling K-pop to everyone around the world. So, do you think that was cultural appropriation, and do you think that we should blame Lisa for it?
I think definitely. I think in terms of that, it was definitely cultural appropriation. Because obviously there's a significance to why certain people wear braids. And for me personally, like the entire get up like that she was wearing looked like a Western music, something that somebody in a Western music
Something like
video.
maybe Cardi B would be
Cardi
wearing, or
B
Nicki
would wear
Minaj.
Nicki Minaj, yes, like these Western rappers. And so they took that entire image and put it onto Lisa because she is the rapper. And so that is definitely the case with the rappers. They usually wear these outfits that are normally worn by rappers, like you said, Cardi B,
And they
Nicki
have a lot of
Minaj.
history got to do with black culture. And
Yes,
Yeah.
because rappers, I don't want to put it like attach a certain race to it, but the majority of the time the rappers are normally black people.
And hip hop originated from black
from
culture.
black culture, you're right. And so I think in that sense, definitely it was culture appropriation, because like if she was maybe had like a row, cornrow or something like that in the rest of her hair, I don't think I would have that much of a
Yeah, and
problem
she was
with
like
it.
wearing the typical K-pop
Outfits, but now
Yeah.
because she was wearing this long coat, and like usually that's what Cardi B them will wear, and she was like had like tights and like a little
Yeah.
tights and like long boots, and like it literally looked like
She was like kind of like the Asian version of Nicki Minaj or something.
yeah, no, definitely. And for me, I felt like that definitely was culture appropriation. And coming back to what you were asking about, should we blame Lisa? I think from for me there's a fine line, because as an like obviously she doesn't control what in terms of like as a I don't want to sound as if I'm making an excuse, but like in this point, like when you sign, it comes back to what we were saying yesterday in the first podcast, where these artists, these K-pop artists are controlled, and so they say to them, look here, you wearing that, you doing this, because you're the rapper, this is how you're supposed to look, this is your image, this is
Yeah.
how you must dress.
They can't even decide what color they put on the hair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they don't have a choice. And if you look at, like I also mentioned yesterday, it's so hard to get out of these contracts that you would probably have to fight. And not that I'm
Years
making
of legal battles.
exactly, and you might end up bankrupt. So I think for a person like her, not that I'm making an excuse, like every person has a right to do like to say like, oh, but no, this is culture appropriation, I don't feel comfortable with doing that. And that should have probably been the case. But I think any person that naturally, if you are in the business, you would just think, okay, let me just do it and like get it over with.
And the thing is, Lisa is not even Korean.
Exactly.
She's Thai. So she can't be coming into YG Entertainment calling the shots and being like, hey, sorry, but I can't do this. Maybe Lisa is aware of issues of cultural appropriation, but because of the certain position that she's at, she can't now say, oh, I'm sorry, YG, but this is wrong, I can't do it. She's literally, like you said yesterday, you sign your life away.
Yes.
They control what you do, what you don't do. They even control where you go, who you cut contact with, who you communicate with, who you date, who you don't date. And YG is very strict on dating rules. They can't date at all, even though they are full-blown human beings and they can do whatever they want, basically. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely, like at this point, like I think that to a certain extent, like I felt like yes, Lisa might be aware of cultural appropriation, but like at the same time, like you could understand why. Like it's you facing a couple of years of like legal battles, even if you say like no, but like I don't. Exactly, because you signed, you said
you should
like,
have read the contract
properly.
And you know what, they strategically approach you when you are young. Never mind the fact that they want you to at a young age so that they can train you, but they know that you're the one that has to sign the contract. When you're young, you don't ask about the T's and C's. You just sign it because you're like, hey, I want to be famous, I want to be on TV. So you don't know the impact or the consequences that come with being a K-pop idol. And these are the things that come with it. Basically being forced to do things that you may not necessarily agree with.
Which is so sad though, because like parents, like usually when there's these children, these youngsters sign these contracts, parents are supposed to be there, and like yes, they might be supportive, but I don't think they like did a certain like they didn't think about it that deeply. That like that could actually affect their child in the future. Because everybody like grow up and you understand different cultures, and like at that point, like Lisa might not be okay with it, Jenny might not be okay, Rose, Jisoo. And it's sad though, like that you don't know what the future, like you don't know when you sign that contract, even with your parents there and things like that. I'm assuming that the parents are obviously there to help with like the signing and whatever, because they're minors. But like still in that case, I feel as if like it's a sad thing, because like you don't know, like you really don't know, like if you're gonna have to do something that offends a different culture. And because they're so young, they didn't think.
There's none of us at the age of 10. Maybe now there are 10-year-olds who are engaging in such topics, because you know the education system changes, society changes. 2019, we are talking about this everywhere, even on social media. But Lisa is basically our age. She's a 96 liner, 95 liner, somewhere there. So most of us didn't grow up on such issues. So at that age, at 10 years old, you're not thinking, should I sign this contract? What if I do a cultural appropriation one day? What if I get objectified? You don't think about that. You think about the fact that, hey, I'm gonna make a lot of money, I'm gonna sing, and I'm just gonna be famous.
Basically. We're not that aware. And also I was watching a recent interview of her in America, and she was saying that like she told her mom that she wants to be a K-pop artist, and I like you could hear like the joy that she got. And like if you look at the videos, clearly like they objectifying her body, and like they obviously the culture appropriation thing.
And going back to what you say about controlling as well, who knows that she could be controlled even in that interview. There are some things that she couldn't maybe been allowed to say. And actually there was a documentary that I watched, and they were specifically focusing on Blackpink, and they were saying the interview or slash journalist was saying
British.
British. He was basically saying, well, I was interviewing them, but there was so many things that I couldn't ask them about. Everything was just controlled. And even in the documentary, you could see the way that they were sitting. They were like, you could see that they were told to sit that way because they had to like push up their postures and like sit a certain way, be dainty, be innocent, and all of that stuff. So even within these interviews, what you listen to in terms of what they're saying, you can never 100% trust it.
It's like they're creating this perfect image of them.
Yeah.
Whereas with other groups, like Western groups, you can actually hear like, no,
This one,
beef.
yeah,
There's beef.
yeah.
So yeah, no, definitely. Like I think it's just like coming back to like it's just sad though, like that they're not even their real selves, that they can't basically like control
Yeah.
they can't basically control what they want to say,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
what they want to wear, and if they're okay with a certain the dreads, or
Yeah.
okay with certain things that they have to wear. They can't, like it's
Yeah.
just part of what
Yeah.
what the company decided, and this is what this is the look that we're
Yeah.
going for.
Like it or not,
We
we're
doing
doing
it.
it. It's all about them, it's all about money. And it's interesting because yesterday we were saying K-pop is not open for certain people who look a specific way. But at the same time, K-pop takes a lot from those people's cultures. They don't want the person, but they want their culture.
Yeah.
So we can't have you because you look a certain way. Not that they're being racist, it's justified. Like we said yesterday, as justified.
Yeah.
K-pop looks a certain way. But it's also at the same time a little bit hypocritical. You're saying you don't want this certain image, but then at the same time you want their culture. What do you think about that? Do you think that if you're gonna say, I don't want a black person, I don't want a white person, I don't want this type of person, do you think then it means that they mustn't also take the culture, or do you think no, it's okay, they can take the culture and just use it whatever without the permission? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because there was one of the concerts that EXO did. Now I'm not sure if you know about this. So there's one concert that they did, EXO, where they basically performed a ritual as a dance move, a Hawaiian ritual as a dance move on stage. And everybody who has knowledge of that ritual or partakes in it, or has family members who might be from Hawaii or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
were very offended. And they said that first of all, you need to be part of that culture before you do that ritual. Secondly, you need to be part of that specific religion. It is performed in certain cases somewhere in Hawaii. However, EXO took it and made it into a dance move.
Yeah.
Or a dance break in between their songs. So now, what do you think about that?
I think that obviously, if I was even just hearing what you were saying, like I would be offended.
Yeah.
Because like, who are you though to come and exploit my culture and make money off it just because
You like it, or you think it's gonna make you
or
money?
you think it's gonna
It's
make you
cool.
money? It's cool or whatever. And like, no, like I don't agree with that, because at that point, like, is nothing sacred anymore. Like I feel like your culture is something of importance to you, and if everybody's gonna go around doing certain things and you don't even know how to do it, and you start like just looking at a certain video, or like, oh okay, this is like how the culture is, and you start wearing the clothing, you start doing the whatever signs and things like that, it's going to, like, for me it would feel, I would feel betrayed. Like I would feel like, no,
And
my
you
culture
spend money
means
to
nothing.
watch EXO anyway. So
Yeah.
at least they should put your feelings into consideration.
Yeah, like I think at that point, like, no, like definitely it's a no-go for me. Like with that, I just feel there's certain, like, these cultures that you have to respect it. Like companies need to come up with concepts, yes, but they can't be taking people's cultures and exploiting it for their own
And
personal
it's not
gain.
like this ritual was out there just being displayed. This person who used this as a dance move must have gone through some great lengths in order to be able to access that ritual in the first place.
Yeah.
And the fans were basically saying, well, they could have at least asked permission to use it. But then again, at the same time, where are you going to ask permission from? because even that person that you do ask permission from and they say yes, they don't represent the whole population. Yeah.
But like I think that like in terms of that, like it's a no go. Like you need to come up with a concept and make sure that it doesn't like harm. Like I don't want to say harm. It doesn't. There's no. It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't. I don't want to say harm, but like I don't.
Doesn't impact negatively.
Yes. Like I think that culture should be, for me, I think, okay, let me just, I think culture should be left out of it. Like there shouldn't be people
Because remember,
dancing
K-pop is creating
around
its own culture, so it can't be taken from
other cultures. They
Yeah.
should stick to
their own.
whatever concepts
Why not
they
use
have.
your own rituals then?
Yeah.
Your own, rituals that you do within Korea. Why don't you take that and put it in K-pop so that we can learn from you guys about your culture? Not to say that we will also now culture appropriate you guys' stuff, but
Yeah.
we can learn, basically.
We can learn, definitely.
So basically now are we saying that, okay, since you're saying that if I look a certain way, I'm not invited into the auditions, so then my culture is also not invited then?
I think so, yeah. Like you
Okay.
can't, like I wouldn't feel comfortable
Yeah.
if like you want to take people that don't look like me, but you want to use my culture.
Also,
And,
basically, you don't want people like me, but you want to use my culture, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like from like it just doesn't work. Like I would know better. If I was from Hawaii, I would know better. Then I can do that ritual and like.
Yeah.
But at that point, like, then K-pop wouldn't be K-pop anymore, though, if I had to come in. So, like, there has to be that line.
Yeah.
So, don't use
Yeah.
my culture and sell it, but, like, you don't
You
want
the
me.
actual person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm my culture. I am my culture.
Thank you. Yeah.
And so, you don't want me, but you want to take a part of
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Which
You
is
can't
something
separate people from the
significant.
culture. Yeah. You can't do that.
And with that, like, it's a no for me. Culture, definitely no go. Like, culture appropriation, like, there has to be that line.
Okay, so, with that being said, so today, as I'm sure you are aware, J-Hope from BTS released a music video called Chicken Noodle Soup, and it was featuring Becky G, an American artist, and the original song was from a Black African American, same thing, but from an African American song in the maybe early 2000s, mid 2000s, and the song was also, I think, called Chicken Noodle Soup. So it featured a lot of African American hip hop culture in the song. So basically, J-Hope was doing a cover of it, and J-Hope in the music video was wearing, hip hop style, and I think he had like, I don't know if it was like mini dreads or whatever the case may be, but there was no backlash of it. Why do you think that is the case?
I think that
and also Becky G is also not black either, by the way. She's I think Hispanic.
Yeah. For me, I think the reason why there wasn't that much backlash is because J-Hope, out of all the BTS members, is portrayed as the most open-minded person
and educated when it comes to American culture, sort of, kind of.
And if you look at one of like the episodes of American Hustle,
which was released in 2013, 2014?
Yes, 2014 or 13, I'm not sure. You could see that he was so comfortable around Americans, and like he never, like I've never heard him in interviews or in one of the Run episodes make a racist remark.
And J-Hope in general is a person that's very open-minded, never man American. Like he's the type of person, if you talk to, he seems like he would be able to be open-minded to talking to you.
Yeah.
Naturally, he has that sunshine personality type of thing. Yeah.
So I think that the reason why, obviously, like I said, cultural appropriation for me is definitely a no.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why he didn't receive that much backlash is because of the type of person that he was. I think that people were actually like, I think people, for him personally, I think people saw that he wanted to celebrate black hip hop culture. And so with that, people were like, oh, okay, no,
That's fine.
like,
It's also about the intention as well.
yes,
How
definitely
you now deliver the whole situation.
Yeah.
If it was Rap Monster, who's another group member in BTS,
Yeah.
if he was the one who was doing the music video, a lot of people would have been like, no, this is cultural appropriation. Because a Rap Monster has been associated with a lot of problematic incidences, like saying the N-word.
Yeah.
Saying a lot of problematic things, like when there's an interview in Australia and he basically said that he couldn't see V and J-Hope because they were too black. Even though that's not the case. V and J-Hope are just a bit, I don't want to say dark, they are tanned compared to the rest of the group members. And actually, Rap Monster seems to be also in the same category as the tanned person. But for some reason, he only saw V and J-Hope as the ones that were tanned, and he said that they were too black. And nobody addressed the issue. It's fine. But there's so much negative things attached to Rap Monster that if he had done this, people wouldn't have seen it as a genuine.
He would have received a lot of backlash.
And
yeah. So it just like it stems back to the fact that like because of the type of person that J.Hope portrays, once again we don't truly know his true personality because I'm not his friend.
We don't
I can't call him up.
Yeah, we can't call J.Hope like, J.Hope, can you give us your personal opinion on the matter? Yeah.
So but I think because the fandoms saw that like the person that he is portrayed on screen, or the person that in interviews, the run episodes, he has been seen as the most open-minded, and I think that's why he never received backlash. Like I feel like the hip-hop community were like, no, but this person, like you can see that he's having fun and he wants to appreciate
like
the
you can
culture.
see when somebody on camera is uncomfortable, does not seem to be fitting in. And with J-Hope, even though he's Asian and even though he's from Korea, he's a native Korean. He's not like a Korean American where you can say, well, he was socialized into the culture. No, he's literally he's from Korea. He grew up there. The only time he started coming into America was in 2014 during American Hustle Life. Yeah. So, and the fact that he's so comfortable on screen, and the fact that he's so comfortable around these people, is a good enough evidence that, okay, you know what, J-Hope definitely had good intentions for the song. He did not do any injustice for the song, to be honest. The song was perfect. The song was great. It was dancing, and the fact that it was multiracial and multicultural, the music video itself just solidified it even more. The fact that, okay, J-Hope is culturally appreciating it rather than culturally appropriating.
I think also, like, I can't speak for everybody.
Yeah.
But like, I think for myself personally, I feel as if like you were celebrating like you said the culture.
Yeah.
And like with that, like it's a beautiful thing. Like if I was somebody in America and I was in the hip hop industry, and I grew up in wherever it is that the culture originated from, and like I was a part of the culture since a young age, and I saw someone like J.Hope, like personally for me, I would be like, oh, but this person, like if you listen to his interviews as well, he said like, oh, we saw like P. Diddy and like these Dr. Dre, like all these big hip hop artists, and he's like, and you hear him say like he saw all these music videos and he was so inspired. Like it's beautiful to see like somebody appreciate someone else's culture and not actually be exploited in that sense, like maybe Biggie the company obviously exploited it, but to him he might have you know what, for him it might have been like, oh, this is my dream. And I think that's where you draw the line, like, yes, I'm not okay with Biggie like
doing all of this, having bad intentions,
yes, wanting to make money, but I feel like J-Hope at that point, like I'm so happy that J-Hope like you know did this video, and like he seemed like he was living out his dream. It was beautiful, like in that sense.
It
Like
was
I'll
done
be like
tastefully.
tastefully,
Basically.
exactly. And so like there is that line where the money is concerned with where big it, but might for him it might have been like, finally, like I've watched all these big hip hop artists, and like this is my dream, like
Yeah.
it's my dream to do this. Like I
Yeah.
don't even really care about the money, I don't care about the views.
Yeah.
Like I think like even artists, like if somebody actually, like I don't care about the views, I don't care about like the money, I just want to celebrate your culture, please allow
Allow
me
me
to
to.
celebrate. I don't want to,
While I'm also putting my own kind of spin to it,
Spin,
because I
yeah.
can never replace an American. I can never replace a Black American as well.
yeah, but like I think not any person, but like you can't obviously hear everybody's views on it. But for me personally, if I was part of that like hip hop culture since a young age and whatever, I would definitely be like, no man, I'm so happy that you celebrating something without having any negative
Yeah.
negative attachments to it. And so with that being said, like I really like the video, and like yeah, it was
Now
beautiful.
let's switch up the thing a bit. So D.O. from EXO basically came out and said that he likes R&B because the music is great and he wants to be able to impress African Americans. So, so now, what do you think about that? Do you think that what J-Hop has done, D.O. can also be able to do? Do you think that if D.O. were to now do R&B and put his own perceptions of an American twist into R&B, do you think that people would be okay with it? Given the bad track record of EXO, by the way, do you think that he'd be able to pull it off? Or do you think that people would be like, hey, please just sit down?
I think that definitely people would be. I think people would say sit down.
Yeah.
Definitely, especially the fact that like I don't.
Let's
know
not get
your
it twisted.
way.
D.O. can sing
He's
like there's
beautiful
no
singer.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful singer. But coming back to you, your question, and me agreeing, like me saying that like you need to, if people are gonna say sit down, reason being is I don't know if you're aware of there was an incident, I'm not sure in which year, but like he threw all the cast members, and
Okay.
Kai, which is the main dancer, and he's also tan skin
Like V
like
and J-Hope.
V and J-Hope.
Okay.
And he colored him like dark with a dark cokey, and so everybody was like light, and he was the only dark one. And obviously people were outraged because
Yeah, okay.
obviously
Yeah,
racist
yeah.
and whatever. So I think whether, like you said, the bad track record, because now why are you making fun of Kai's skin color but you want to celebrate R&B?
Yeah, and you want Black people to be
People
impressed with that.
So now
Yeah.
where like that's the thing, like with like EXO though, like you can't be stating that you want people to be Black people to be impressed with whatever it is that you're going to do with R&B.
Yeah.
People are going to say like, no, you need to sit down because like of what you did and what you
Yeah.
said. Like, so basically, like you want to take, once again, you want to take a genre of music and make it your own now, and want to impress Black people,
But then you have such a bad track record
of like basically racist action
and colorist
colorism
remarks. Yeah.
towards Black people. But you want to take, once again, it stems from similar thing of like culture appropriation, in terms of like you want to take something of me,
But
like,
you don't want me, the
yes,
embodiment
you
of that culture.
You don't want the embodiment.
Yeah.
And also you're making fun of people's skin tone. So now why would you want to
So who's
impress
impressed
them?
by that? Yeah.
So I feel like for me personally, if I know him, and like not know him, but know the track record of what has been said by EXO and like him specifically, I would be like, no, you're just saying this so people will accept the fact that you want to do R&B,
and you want to get money out of it.
and you want to get
fame.
money out of it, and now you're saying that you want to impress Black people so that now I can feel good if I was a Black person, that like somebody from Korea is going to do R&B. So I mean, like, I would definitely think, no, you're just saying this because now you don't want to get backlash
Yeah.
for doing
Yeah.
something.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I just want to also note that when it comes to cultural appropriation, K-pop doesn't just steal from American culture. It steals from a lot of cultures. A
No,
lot of
definitely.
cultures. So with that being said, let's look at a different group that stole from a different culture.
Yeah.
So COD, if anybody doesn't know who COD is, it's a group. It's a co-ed group. Consists of two guys and two girls, and one of the guys is called BM, and he is from America. So he quite has a knowledge of what cultural appropriation is. I'm sure. He's aware of racism. I'm sure. Aware of colorism. I'm sure. Anyways, so if you've noticed their music videos, a lot of Indian culture is quite apparent. A lot of Indian culture, such as Diwali, and all of these things, outfits, everything is just there. Everything is just there, and it's made into an aesthetic to basically make them look good and make them look exotic. So now, what do you think about that? Do you think COD is doing a good job at appreciating the culture, or are they just as bad as EXO? Just as bad as the rest of the K-pop industry?
Once again, it just stems back to the very beginning of what I said. Culture is a no.
Mm.
Because if you're wearing a certain outfit, or
But I mean, you're saying the culture is a no, but it was a yes for J-Hope.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. For me personally, I had stated that no, I said in the beginning, I said no, I don't agree with culture appropriation. But I said, like, also as well, like, if I was in that group of people and I said, oh, like, oh, okay, maybe J-Hope he did this chicken noodle soup thing.
Yeah.
And like it might have seemed like he didn't get backlash, like I said, once again, like, I liked the video and everything, but I did not agree with the culture, with him wearing those things. Yes, I would have been like, oh, like, okay, if I was in that certain grew up in that hip hop culture and all of that, then I would have been like, oh, like, it's nice, like, for you to do this thing without the money and things attached to
Yeah.
it. That's what I said, like, without the money and stuff attached to it. So that's why I didn't agree with him doing the whole chicken noodle soup thing. But like I did say, if he did it like without the money attached, like, this is my dream, I just want to like do you without like Biggie.
Yeah, out minus Biggie. Yeah.
Minus Biggie, then I wouldn't have a problem with
Okay.
it. But like with COD, like wearing these certain things, like significant outfits and like the different backgrounds of there's certain things behind it. And so you might not know, though, like, you are here dancing with a sari or something like that,
Yeah.
and like you don't know the significance of that dress that way. And so people, now I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna get me a sari, I'm gonna wear it
Yeah.
outside.
And if Beyonce can get backlash on culture appropriating this
Yes.
with Coldplay, then COD is no exception, basically.
No exception at all. Even Selena Gomez at the MTV Music Video Awards, she released Come and Get It, and she was wearing a bindi. And how are you just able to think you see something on Instagram or on the TV or something, like, oh, okay, I just want to wear
Yeah.
it? Like, you as a person need to understand that this is someone's culture.
Somebody's
Like,
religion.
yes, I'm wearing this thing on my forehead. Do you know the significance even behind it? Do you know
just
why
use it to
I'm
look
wearing
beautiful.
it? Yes.
Yeah.
Why are you, like, when Khloe Kardashian also had this piece in her nose, like, people, that is part of Indian culture. And so when you get married, there's a significance to why you're wearing that ring, why people put certain rings on their fingers, why they believe certain things. You can't just come in here and think that now because I saw it on Instagram, I saw and that is where celebrities and like K-pop artists, these idols, like, don't understand that like these other people are all over are watching you, and so now you making it okay for people to disrespect other people's culture because now I'm seeing you, because like it or not, what we see on the TV and what we see our artists and our idols do, we're gonna do it. Yeah. And so it's like these young children, even like then they're not even aware. There's so many young people watching K-pop artists, and now they see these like people, even Jennie also in Blackpink in Do 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 Do, in one of the pictures she's on the album, she's wearing a bindi, and clearly like now I like this girl.
And why does it look cool on Jennie but it doesn't look cool on an Indian person?
Exactly.
Or it doesn't look great on an Indian person?
Because they don't know the significance of it. So now these youngsters that are looking up to these Blackpink, BTS, EXO, Carter, sees this, and then they're like, "Mommy, I want something," and they take anything and like just put it there. And now you're walking outside as an Indian person, you're like, "But now what's going on?" And like I feel offended that you think that there's a reason why I'm wearing this. There's a reason why there's a black dot. There's a reason why there's a red dot. There's so many different significance. Like there's significance as to why they're wearing that, and so. For me personally, like I just don't agree. Culture is a no in like these
create your own culture, basically.
Create your own thing, get different concepts, but like don't start wearing things that are significant. You don't know why it's there, or maybe you do but you don't even care. So in terms of that, like just no.
Ooh, that was another interesting talk and we went over time. But like I said before, we could like just basically go on forever with this stuff. And we hope that we've given you guys like a different outlook on the whole topic of cultural appropriation. And is there anything that you'd like to say, like, in closing?
I just think like I think I've said it all. I think I've really said it all, but like just once again, culture is a no for me in K-pop. Like
culture, religion,
don't disrespect other people's
especially if you want them to support you.
Exactly, just don't do it.
Okay guys, like I said before, you can catch us every single day, Monday to Friday from 2 p.m. till 2:30. And like I said a few seconds ago, I hope that you guys learned something, and we'll catch you guys same time, same place. Bye.